You know, for how popular tier lists are nowadays, I was really expecting there to be more tier lists on Tankery, but after taking more than a quick gander at the website, there isn't a single one. I mean, seriously, there isn't even a Tankery category you can put it in. Look at all these other categories. Avatar has its own category. Dark Souls, Destiny, Kirby, My Little Pony, Skylanders, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Among Us. I mean, for God's sakes, the country of France has its own category. Who the fuck is making a tier list about France? Oh, yeah, let me just rank all the best Eiffel Towers real quick. Yeah, the one in France is definitely gonna be F tier. For France. The fact that anime has its own category, but Tankery doesn't, really doesn't sit well with me. Although, I guess that comparison isn't fair. Anime and tanks have nothing to do with each other, so that doesn't really make sense. Still though, I can't believe there isn't a category for tanks. Well, although I don't have the power to create an entire tank category on this website, yet, I do have the power to make a tank tier list. The first one ever. And for now, it's gonna have to be in the history category. Ugh, yucky. For this list, I have gathered what I believe to be the quintessential lineup, the absolute essentials in the Tankery game. All the big boys are here. The Sherman, the Panzer IV, the KV-1, the Panther, all of them. And even some of the lesser knowns. Now, I can't include every single tank that I can think of, since this video has to end at some point, just like everything else in this cruel world. So I'm only going to cover the tanks of the big nations that actually contributed to World War II. France, Poland, Sweden, Hungary, Spain. Sorry, but y'all just literally don't matter and you should be ashamed. I'm also not going to include any World War I tanks because they don't bring in the views. So first up we have the Saint-Chamond. I fucking hate fighting this thing in Battlefield 1. It shouldn't be nearly as OP as it is in that game. I've never actually used it myself, but considering how often I get destroyed by it in my little FT-17, it must be good. For that reason, it's going in A. Next up looks like we have, the 105mm howitzer Sherman, yeah. You know, this thing is pretty much just a glorified noob tube if we really think about it. I mean, he's got the big boy chode gun that go bop. You know, it's go bop. That's what it does, it goes bop. And, you know, I think the overpressure update really just made this thing viable, but otherwise, it doesn't really have any special characteristics. I mean, it's got all the same stats as a regular Sherman. Although the French liked it a lot, actually, so we could kind of put it down for that. Not as good as a 75, but it does go bop. So we'll stick it right in the middle at C tier. Big wheel. We got big wheel, B for big wheel. Bob Simple. The Bob Simple. Holy fuck, the Bob fucking Simple tank. Oh my god. Oh my god, am I right? Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? The fucking Bob Simple. You know, I've got a lot of things to say about the Bob Simple. I'm so fucking tired of everyone saying it's the best goddamn tank ever. No, it's fucking not. I understand the meme. I get that it's a joke. I get that it's a meme. But it's so fucking overplayed. I fucking hate this meme. And I fucking hate the Bob Simple. Shut the fuck up. This is a personal message to the entire tank history community, the tank subreddit, to fucking everyone.
Get a new fucking joke. I'm tired of hearing about the fucking Bob Simple. Stick it up your fucking ass. It's a terrible tank.
New Zealand, we love you, man. But holy shit. Stop memeing this tank. It's so annoying. Everywhere I fucking look. Bob Simple, maybe more Bob Simple. The Bob Simple can shoot lasers if you actually upgraded enough in the tier list.
Shut the fuck up and get a new joke.
I'm sorry, that got a little serious. BT7, race car Chrissy suspension go burr, S tier, easily. What the fuck tank is this? Oh, it's Italian. Hold on, I have to cross-reference. Which tank is this? Here it is. The CAL-3. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. All Italian tanks are the same. This thing sucks dick in War Thunder, so it's a D for me. D for dick. D for dick. Sherman Calliope, super badass concept, and I love even more that it literally can't be explained.
I'm thinking about the Calliope. What was the theory about putting these rockets on top of a tank as opposed to another lighter, easier to produce vehicle?
The answer to your question is I have no idea. And I have found reports coming back into the archive basically saying, why are we doing this?
Easily A tier. Centurion, I mean, this shit's the first main battle tank, right? Gotta be S tier. Chaffee, I fucking love the Chaffee. It holds a very special place in my heart. D tier. Alright boys, it's time for the fucking Japanese tank speed round. Here we go, Japanese tank speed round. Get out your speed, everybody. Do a bit of speed real quick. Do a bit of speed, Japanese tank speed round. We got the fucking Chi-Ha. Chi-ha makes me laugh. It makes me go ha-ha. So it goes for the fucking goes for the ha-ha tier. Goes for the ha-ha tier, actually. That's what it does. It goes for the ha-ha tier. Create a new fucking tier for that shit. Goes in the fucking haha tier.
One true path, and that's Baja.
Chi-he goes in the fucking he-he tier, but we don't have a he-he tier, so it goes in the C tier. The Chi Nu, this was the fucking Sherman killer. This was the big boy. This was supposed to be the saving grace of Japan. It did little more than look pretty though, D tier. The Chi... Cheeto. Speaking of Cheetos, we got the fucking Churchill. This thing actually, I'll say, I like the look of the Churchill. I think it looks like a pretty badass tank. In terms of its performance, I can't speak too much about it. I haven't done that much research on the performance of British tanks. I know they were notably unreliable and extremely cramped. It had its place, but I think there are definitely much better options. We'll put the Churchill in C tier. The Comet was the last tank ever to use Christie suspension, S tier. Actually, no, A tier. Matilda, the Queen of the Desert. I still have to draw a picture of this for the teabag competition guy. He asked me to draw him one of these, so I gotta do that. B tier. Crusader, removing the speed limiter, S tier. The L-33 tankette, fucking, I mean, look. This thing doesn't really have much use, right? It's a pretty pointless little tank. I will say though, if you can catapult this thing off the back of a Type 89, it has some potential. B tier. The M4A3 76W Sherman. I don't know if there's really anything else I can say about that. S tier for sure. Panzer III gonna also go in S tier for being the first main battle tank, unironically. Fucking fight me. The Butte Panzer, you know, this thing was a great concept, you know, good idea the Germans had to really diversify their lineup, but you know, they just made too many variants and it just wasn't viable, so I'm gonna put that in F tier, I think. Ferdinand, F for Ferdinand. Oh wait, but there's also E for elephant. That's actually, that's a point of contention. Well, it can't go in haha tier because it's not that haha. We'll put it in D for dick. Composite Firefly, my favorite tank of all time, SS tier easily. The Fury, the tank from Fury, you know, Fury was a really pretty alright movie. I mean, I enjoyed it. I think it was good. You know, the special effects and the sound design was pretty good. The soundtrack was fine. The acting was incredible. I thought the overall plot was pretty serviceable. I think they did it well. Overall, it was just an average war movie, like just, oh god, the good guys and the bad guys are both doing terrible things. It was a good movie. I would probably give it a 3 out of 5. So for that reason, we're putting it in B tier. The Goliath, I fucking hate these things in Men of War, they're so fucking annoying. F tier. The IS-2, Spookston made a video saying that this thing actually wasn't that bad, and I believe him. A tier. The Katusha rocket truck. S tier. Wait. S. A tier. These two deserve to be together. The KV-1. Spookster made a video saying that this thing was actually pretty terrible. B tier. The KV-2. Much for the same reason that the Sherman 105 is down here, except it gets to go up because it's Russian Stalinium, and also just an excellent meme machine. We need to go back to the days when this was like the meme tank, right? Like, what happened to the good old days of the KV-2 being like the meme tank? You know, I miss those days. So for that reason, we're actually gonna bump it up into A tier. This is Katusha's trusty comrade. The M10 Wolverine, probably one of the easiest tanks to film the War Thunder montage for, because this thing legit just decimates everything that you meet in terms of in War Thunder. In real life, it was pretty good. It was a cheap, effective, quick deploy tank destroyer solution while they were developing the M18, so it did good for what it was designed to do. It's pretty much the 76mm variant of the Sherman before the 76mm variant of the Sherman. So I think we'll stick it in A tier, actually. This is a nice little tank. M18 Speed Demon Go Burr, S tier. M3 Lee, probably one of the most underrated tanks of all time. Spookston made a video on this, and I very much agree with him, and especially upon doing a lot of the research on the Lee, I'd love to make a video on it at some point, but the Lee really is a staple of American tank design, and I think a lot of people gloss over it way too easily. But honestly, the thing just looks ugly as fuck, so I'm gonna put it in F tier. CM4 hybrid? We got a hybrid Sherman in here? When the fuck did I put a hybrid? When the fuck did I put the hybrid Sherman in here? I have the M4 composite in this list? What the fuck? I already have the composite Firefly. What's the point of this? I don't know. It's the exact same as the composite Firefly, but without the 17 pounders, so worse in every way. Let's go right there. The M4A1, I really like the look of this thing. I think the M4A1 looks quite nice. It's the first variant of the Sherman, so it gets the badge of honor of being, you know, where it all started, the humble beginnings, but overall it wasn't exactly anything to write home about, so I don't know. I think we can put it B tier. B tier for respect alone, otherwise it would be down here in C. Sherman Jumbo, I think this thing is heavily overrated. I think its armor was obviously good, but that was the whole fucking point. I see a lot of people asking why the Jumbo didn't replace the regular Sherman, and to that I say D for dick. Go watch my video on all the variants of the Sherman, and I explain why the Jumbo wasn't as good as you probably think it was. The M4A4, I like this picture a lot. This like specific picture that I've used, I like it. The lighting is nice. It's got a nice color palette to it, like the gray up top matching with like the grayish green of the Sherman with the night silhouetted by the grass and the green grass on the bottom. It's a very nicely taken picture. Plus, I think the M4A4 is just, I don't know, it's one of my favorite looking variants of the Sherman. Plus, the Firefly spawned from this, so it's got a lot of respect. Chrysler Multibank, go Burr. The M6A1. Yes, wasn't that good. Not too bad. The Matilda. Wait, what? The Matilda? Wait, didn't I already rank this? Hold on a minute. I legit don't even see it. What happened? B tier, I get. Wait, which one is this? Did I accidentally rank the Cromwell instead? Oh my god, I did. Cromwell. Okay, well, here it is. I don't really know much about the Cromwell. It wasn't that good, though. Fucking OD tier, I guess. The Mouse. If only Germany had stopped making so many goddamn Panzer IVs and put resources into the Mouse, it could have been amazing. I'm telling you all right now. The Tide Turner. The Timmy Tide Turner. That's what this tank is called, the Timmy Tide Turner. And I think if it had been given its moment to shine, I think we really could have seen a German victory. It's the only way the Germans could have won World War II. A tier, ass tier, ass tier, ass tier. The Char B1 Bis. You know, I have a lot of respect for this tank. You know, there's a lot of debate between what was the first main battle tank. You know, it was the first MBT. And if we're talking about doctrine of main battle tank, that was the B1 Bis, as it was chosen to be one universal tank. Sama 35 was used by cavalry, which were supposed to only use armored trucks, and other older tanks were in service only due to a lack of B1 Bises at the moment. And I know, it's a hot take, but honestly, it's really just a hot take, not because of anything you stated, which is half true, but because British propaganda. Sadly. S tier, first main battle tank. The T-34, you know, I think the T-34 could have been an outright outstanding design, really. I mean, it was cheap, it did what the Soviets needed, and it was decently effective. But I think the lack of a closed turret, I think having an open top on there just really fucked them over. I don't know what they were thinking, having a main tank of their army with an open top. You know, I think overall that was just kind of a brief oversight. I know they were trying to go cheap, but I mean, come on. I think if they closed up the turret, they'd have a real dynamite design here, but for now, put it in C. The P-40, this thing was Italy's secret weapon. It's a damn shame they never got to use it. B tier. B for Basta. I would put it A for Anchovy, but B for Basta. The Panzer IV Ausf D, you know, it's a good tank, you know, decently reliable, but its armor is weak, so they're in trouble if they get hit head on. D tier. The Panzer II, you know, I literally don't see much use for this thing. I mean, I guess it got them through France and Poland, but I mean, like, what's the big idea? What were they trying to prove? You know, what were the Germans, what were they doing out there? You know, they're just running around with the Panzer II. I don't fucking get it. That shit's going in fucking F tier, man. The Panzer II is kind of stupid. Panzer 38T, genuinely one of my favorite all-time early war tank designs. I fucking love this thing. This is an unironic SS tier. The Pershing, I'm pretty sure this is a picture of a Patton, but whatever. Pershing, looks really cool. But, I mean, you know, it was a troubled child. It had a lot going for it, but it just, in the end, didn't really do what it was supposed to do. I mean, it did. It got us through the end of the war, but honestly, I think we would have won the war with or without the Pershing. So, I personally don't really see the point of this tank, but put it in C tier. Firefly. Badass looking variant of the Sherman. I don't know what it is, but something about the Sherman with the tiny 75mm turret with just a longer barrel. And also just that iconic British muzzle brake. I think the Firefly looks super fucking cool. It was a nightmare to fight in though, so everything kind of balances out. I'd put the Firefly at B tier. The Stuart. I fucking love the Stuart. It's a blast to play in War Thunder. It looks cool. It's got a great, interesting history competing with Walter J. Christie designs towards the end there. Immensely useful and was able to be used on all fronts, just like the Sherman. I mean, this thing really is a tiny Sherman, and I fucking love it. I think Stuart's S tier. Stug. The Stug life chose me. The Sturmtiger. 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 Sure, we'll go with that. Why? Super Pershing, my personal all-time favorite looking tank. If you were to ask me what is my favorite tank of all time purely based on aesthetics, definitely the Super Pershing. This thing's badass. Also, Bradley Cooper worked on it, so that brings it all the way down to a D. But I like it. No, we can't let my biases. If there's one thing I've shown you guys throughout this video, it's that I don't let my personal biases dictate how I rank these tanks. So we're gonna keep it at B. T-26, I really like this tank. I think it looks cool. I think it's got a fun little history. I mean, it's basically just a Vigor 6-ton on steroids. I really should have brought the Polish into this with the 7TP, but I like the T-26. I think it's a neat little tank, even though it was probably a nightmare to fight in. I'd have to do more research on it, but I think it's an A tier. The Tiger II goes in C for cock because why? Why? And finally, at the very end of the tier list, we have our special fire truck bonus round. Bow, bow, bow. Everybody get excited. Everybody get excited. Tell your mom, tell your dads, turn on all your lights, turn off all your lights, turn them back on again, please. We need the lights so we can see these amazing fire trucks. It's the fire truck bonus lightning round. We have the Walter J. Christie early 1900s front-wheel drive fire truck versus a Hungarian conversion of a T-34 to be a fire truck. Honestly, I think both of these fire trucks have their merits. You know, with the T-34, you get just those giant fucking jet engines of just pure power, you know, blowing out these fires. And I think it's a really creative idea and incredibly dangerous. And as we all know, danger is cool. Safety is for moms and nerds. And last I checked, I'm have a pussy. For that reason, this goes in B for badass. However, I gotta put the Christie fire truck just a little bit higher. You know, the fast deployment of these fire trucks was probably crucial to the 1 or 2 cities that ever even had one of these. Jay Leno's got one. He says it's kind of neat, I think. I don't remember. I watched the video so long ago.
Walter Christie actually invented the tank, which the U.S. government thought was a ridiculous idea, and he sold it to the Russians, and then we went, oh, wait a minute, that tank thing's pretty good. And they brought him back. What the fuck?
But it's just so wacky and cool, and it's got a little bit of history to it, and I think this thing would have been a far better fire truck than a T-34 S tier. So there you have it. This is my tier list of tanks. You know, I think we got all the big dogs in here, and I think we really gave them a fair judgment, and I think we took everything into consideration, you know, us as a group. You know, I know that you guys, you know, on the other side of the monitor have probably been screaming at me, yes, Edda, these are perfect. This is exactly what I would have thought. You know, these are exactly how I would have done it. You're so good, and you're so handsome, and you're so cool. Thank you, I know, you don't have to say it. Hopefully I've done the tank history community justice. I don't expect any backlash from this whatsoever. I think this is a pretty good objective list, and I think everybody's gonna be happy with this. What can I say? I'm a fucking deity. They call me the peacemaker. I think I've brought peace onto every tank debate forum that exists. I think that's it. I didn't miss any tanks, did I? I think we got all the important ones. The Tiger, the Sturm Tiger, the Tiger II, the Panther. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm so silly. I forgot. What? That's so crazy. I forgot the Panther. How do we do that? No, hold on a minute. I even had the damn picture the whole time. There we go. Can't believe I forgot this little guy. S tier for being the first main battle tank.